If me instead, I can control his posture, always bringing him closer to me and keep him closer to myself like this. I can even open the close guard. I don't need to cross my feet, and he won't be able to do anything. He won't be able to do much, and I will be able to work for as much as I need until I can get an opportunity, open some space, and go for the submissions and go for the sweeps or whatever you want to work here. All right? So first exercise, first to understand these. The guy's hands are the ones that give his opportunity for his base and for his posture. Okay? If he make a good posture but he doesn't use his hands, it's easy for me to use my legs to bring him closer, and that's it. He won't have any posture anymore. If he uses his hands, but his hands are too low, let's say on my pants here, they are not giving him a good base, and all I need to do is to use my legs again, try to resist, and I'll be able to break his posture again and work any way I prefer. If his hands are in the middle of my chest, in the middle of my upper body here, for example, here, a classic grip on my lapels. Okay, just my legs now are not enough to break his posture. Okay, what do I need to do? I need to make him bend his arm first, and then I will use my legs. All right. So if he makes a good grip, a good lapel grip here, what I normally do is that I make a cross grip to his lapel, okay? And with my own elbow, I'm going to use to bend his elbow, to bend his arm, and then I use not only my legs to bring him closer and break his posture, but also my hand, okay? So try to resist. Let's say I make this grip, I bend his arm, okay? So now his base is not as good as it was before when his arm was straight, and then my legs work again and I break his posture. Okay? So this is the first exercise we'll be doing. Just, I tell you guys when to switch, okay? Just the guy on top makes a good grip. He tries with grips on the pants first, for example. I use my legs and break his posture. He tries his posture exactly. With a grip on the lapels here, I make a cross grip on his lapel, and the hand is not the most important thing now. It just gives me a support. I need to use my elbow to bend his arm, to bend his elbow here, and then I use my legs again to break his posture, and that's it. Now I can start working, okay? Just this simple exercise. That's it. This is the way to make him bend his arm and lose his base, okay? Lose his posture. Like I said, the hand is not the most important thing now. It just gives me somewhere to pull and a support. The elbow is the one that's working and making him bend his arm. Make sure that your elbow passes the line of his arm, okay? Now try to resist. Look. I bend his arm. Now I use my legs to break his posture and keep him here, okay? Make sure your elbow passes the line of his arm. If he makes low grips, all I need to do is to use my legs to bring him closer, and that's it. I understand that if he makes a grip on the middle of my body here, I need to make him bend his arm first, and then I use my legs to bring him closer and break his posture. And now, what happens if he makes a really high grip here? It gets a lot harder, okay? So, what do we need to do? We can't let him make a too high grip, okay? That's the exercise. If the guy tries to make a really high grip, look, I won't let him, okay? Here, I break his posture already, okay? I need to make sure that I will be blocking with my arms at the same time that I use my legs. I will be blocking his grips to get too high in my lapels, okay? So if the guy tries to make really high grips here, I block him, I use my legs, and that's it. After his posture is already low, he won't have, it will be really hard for him to do anything. Okay, so the second exercise is we don't let him make too high grips. Every time that he tries to make too high grips, I can use especially my forearm to avoid it. Okay, if he switches, look, and then I break his posture the same way. If he makes a really high grip here, I will have a hard time trying to break his posture. It's uncomfortable for me. I can't work much. I will have to try instead to break his grip, and breaking a grip that is already made is harder than avoiding him making the grip before. Okay, you guys get it? Let's try this exercise. Don't let the guy make a too high grip. So, a good idea about these important concepts and what we need to do to keep the guard closed. And of course, the closed guard is a position that is really effective, but we need some time to make it work. We can't be in a rush or be in a hurry when we close the guard. Okay, we gotta have patience to make it effective and to make it work. Okay, so after I break his posture, okay, what I like to do is that I like to make a grip on his belt. If I feel that the guy is moving so much, and if I feel that the guy is trying to posture up, and if I feel that he's still fighting against it, okay? And then from here, after I can control his posture down, many windows will be opened, and I will see opportunities coming to me, okay? The first thing that we'll be doing is that I break his posture, I make a grip on his belt here, and then I'm going to start putting my elbow on the mat, just so if the guy is trying to block my hand or anything, I can get my hand inside his biceps and start working this way, okay? So if the guy is trying to block me okay, I just put my elbow on the mat so I can rotate my hand and make sure that my hand is inside his arm and over his biceps this way, okay? I don't need to keep my feet crossed now, okay? All I need to do is to keep this hand on his biceps, okay? And this hand that I had before on the belt, I can start switching to his armpit or to his shoulder. The important thing now is the way that I'll be moving my hips, okay? I want to bring this leg up as much as I can at the same time that I bring and pull his arm to me, okay? So I will bring this leg up and I will start hipscaping in this way, in this direction, okay? Try to move your arm here. Okay, yeah, it's tight because I have this hand blocking his biceps and his elbow, okay? And this second hand giving me even more support on his armpit, okay? So from here, I switch here, hipscape, bring this leg up, okay? And now this arm is completely separated from his body, really hard for him to work much, to make it move, all right? So from here, I slide this hand, wrap his arm, and I'm always going to search for the lapel, for his collar, the cross collar in this position. This hand, it doesn't have to be too high now, okay? I don't need to make a really tight grip. I'm trying to get it as high as I can, as tight as I can, of course, but if it's a little bit low, especially if the guy is trying to resist making posture, it's okay. I don't need to worry much, okay? Important to keep my elbows, this elbow always closed, and I will be now switching my head to the other side. I will be hipscaping this way, and I will stop here, okay? I just want you guys to stop here in this position first, because from this position we will have many options, and I will show you guys how to get a choke from here, and later on, if something doesn't work with the choke, how to go for the omoplata. But we do really need to get to this position to set, especially this grip, in a good way. Then we can work the submissions next. Okay, so same thing. If he let's say he makes this grip, I break his posture. Grip on the belt, all right? Hip escape a little bit. I need to get my hand inside his arm and I block his elbow this way. My foot on his hips. I switch this hand from the belt to the armpit. I'm bringing this leg up as much as I can and hip escaping that way, like this. Okay? Try to move your arm. I slide this hand, wrap his arm, and I'm always searching for the collar grip. After I make it, he won't be able to posture. I'm still controlling the posture, okay? Remember now, the head, go all the way to the opposite side, and I stop here. Okay? Let's just try this first setup, and then I'll show you guys how to attack the collar and the neck next. Alright? Let's try. Because normally the guy doesn't want to get his hands on the mat. Okay? If the guy, for example, puts his hand on the mat here, it's easier for me to wrap this way, and that's it. Okay? I would just wrap his arm, I would be already in the same position. But the guy on top, he knows that anytime he puts his hand on the mat in this position, yeah, it's dangerous for him. Okay? Anytime that he doesn't have any posture and his hands are on the mat, his elbows are open, attacks might come from everywhere. Okay? So the guy normally is trying to get his hands on top of me. Alright? From here. Hand inside. Okay? This hand to the armpit. This foot on his hip. I'm going to start pushing him this way. So now his whole arm is already away from his body. It's a lot easier for me to wrap it, make the grip that I need on his collar, and we stopped here. Okay? Alright, so this hand, like I said, I can make it high, I can try and make it tight, but I don't need to worry much because I might lose a lot of time trying to make it as high and tight as a normal collar grip, okay? And the guy can always try to avoid my hand, yeah, and resist it, okay? After I have it, the guy will focus on defending the second hand because he knows that if I can get this second hand to the collar, to the other side of his neck, it's just a matter of going for the submission, okay? So, after I have, the guy is normally trying to avoid my second hand to getting there, okay? You guys see that I'm not crossing my feet anymore, and I don't need it because his posture is low, okay? Every time that his posture is down, he doesn't have any posture, I don't really necessarily need to cross my feet to work the close guard. Instead, it's better for us to support our feet on his hips or on the mat so we can move and we can open space to work. We don't need to worry about him escaping, okay? If the guy is blocking this second hand now, all I need to do is to move my hips in this direction, okay? My upper body, I stretch my upper body here, try to keep avoiding, and then I will find space to do the same thing that I did before under his elbow to push it, okay? And get my knee over his biceps like this, okay? In this position, it's a lot easier for me to bring my hand to his collar. I will have any grip that I can find here, close to his neck. And the most important thing for me now is to get on my side, okay? Instead of now stretching and trying to squeeze my arms together, what I like to do is that I like to bring myself closer to my opponent, okay? And make especially this underhand here, the bottom hand, work by pulling my elbow up. And I can get the submission, okay? So again, from the beginning, I break his posture. I try to have the grip on the belt, okay? I hip skip a little bit. just so I can work my hand inside the guy's arm. Alright? Hand on his armpit, foot on his head. I'm going to bring this leg up and hip escape this way so I can separate his elbow from his body. A lot easier for me now to wrap his arm, okay? Hip escape a little bit more, and I'll go for the grip on the collar. The guy knows that it's dangerous to get the second hand for him, if I get the second hand, to his collar, okay? So he's trying to block my hand, he's trying to put weight. What do? Push his hip. I open the space by stretching my upper body. This way, try to resist. Here, okay? If he doesn't block it anymore, I can go straight away there. If he's still trying to block it, get your hand on my bicep, yeah? Inside, push it over my knee, and the second hand gets in really easily, okay? Now, I try to get as close as I can to him, okay? Always on my side, I don't put my back on the mat anymore. I pull this elbow up, okay? And bring him to me until he taps. One more? Yep, okay. Can I please use it? Alright, so I break his posture. If he has his arm already here on the mat, okay, that's easier for me. All I need to do is to wrap his arm and go for the grip on the collar, okay? If the guy is blocking, okay? Yeah. Wrap it. Go for the collar. He knows that the second hand can't get to the collar, okay? So he's trying to avoid it. I stretch. If it goes straight away here, great. If not, push, block his biceps with my knee, okay? Now easily, I can get my hand there. I get close to him, okay? Always on my side. I pull this elbow up, the bottom hand up, and I go for the choke. Always trying to get as closer to him as that I can get. We are moving ourselves at the same time that we control his posture, just to find ways for our hands. After we get our hands in the right places, all we need to do is to bring him closer, open the bottom elbow up, okay? Put ourselves in the right position, which is always on our side, and we'll get the tap. Right. After I get the second hand here, make sure you guys don't make it too low on the guy's shoulder, okay? This is one thing. I always try to get it as close as I can to his neck, okay? Instead of making it too low here, make sure you get it close to his neck. This is one thing, okay? Instead of here, here. And make sure you guys close your elbow as near as you can to his chest, okay? I put myself completely on my side, okay? And I get a lot closer to him now, but my elbow is the one that I get the closest as possible to his chest, okay? Now, this hand ends up as being just a support. It's the bottom hand that is doing the most of the work, and it's important for me to lift this elbow up. Look. I'm not squeezing too tight. I just need to get my hands in the right place, okay? Elbow inside, closed in. This elbow, I pull it up. Look, this is the movement that I want to do. It's here. I want to bring it up, okay? And then I'll get the choke. Look. All right? So, here. Let's try again a little bit more. Go. Get to this position, but I can't have a good grip on the guy's collar. let's say the guy is blocking my hand, or I feel I can't get it deep enough to make the grip on the collar, it's okay. We can still work some attacks from this position, okay? One thing that I like to do here is that I like to keep this foot on his hip, okay? And bring this other one as high as I can and stop a little bit in this position. I make this grip on my ankle, okay? And stop it here. Always with my palm facing me, okay? Because if I make this grip, the guy can still try to posture up and get, for example, try to get in the close guard. Okay, all right? But if my palm is facing me here, try to get your posture up and comes to the close guard. It's a lot better for me to keep the position because my arm is in a position and my elbow is in a position that I can still push him and control him a little bit here, okay? So I get here. If the guy tries to posture up, tries to do anything, I can control, all right? From here, all I need to do is to hip escape a little more, pass the foot right in front of his head, and come up to the omoplata position, okay? After I get here, I always try, if it's not open already, to open his lapels, and I'm going to make a grip as tight as I can with my hand close to his armpit on his lapel, okay? It's important that I close my elbow on his back to control him. Now try to turn, try to do anything. It's really hard, okay? And this second grip, I'm going to make it close to his foot, okay? On his pants. The movement that I do now is of hip escaping, but not only in this direction. I want to turn and rotate my hips like this. At the same time that I do this, as I'm controlling his leg, the leg that is closer to me, it's easy to make him fall his hip to the mat, and I can get to a position where it's a lot easier for me to put my feet in one direction, get my hip up, and submit, okay? Remember, once you get here, it doesn't matter if you're attacking this kind of omoplata or the other one where he has his knees on the mat. Always, instead of going up like this with your head low, it's always better to come up like this, okay? Because when you have the posture, you're lifting your hips, and this is what we need. We need to make him tap, we need to lift his hand here. If I just come forward like this, I can get the tap, of course, but it's a lot harder. It might take me more time. If I come up with my hips like this, the taps, they come earlier, even with flexible guys, okay? So from the beginning, yeah. Switch, move. If I try to wrap his arm, but I can't find the collar, okay, keep pushing, grip on my ankle, and block him here, okay? This is a position where we can stay for a little bit if we need to, okay? Just make sure you have your palm facing you. Then, hip escape, pass the leg, come up, and get his hip so he won't move. As soon as you get his hip, open his lapel, grip close to his armpit, second grip on his pants. Move always in circle, and make sure that you make his hip fall to the mat, okay? Elbow in, come up, and get the submission. All right? Let's try. Let's go.